Hello again, welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH, and I'm back for another PC Low Vision Spotlight game video. And this time we're taking a look at Sanitarium. This is a game that just came out on Steam a few days ago, and it is actually an old game that they just brought back. I believe it came out in 1998 or so. I remember playing this early on in my college days. Sanitarium is a point-and-click adventure game, kind of a third-person, isometric-esque point-and-click adventure. And typically, I don't really play all that many point-and-click adventure games. I did find myself getting into some of the more recent Telltale games. They're more focused on dialogue and maybe not quite so obtuse puzzle solving. I think one of the main problems I had with a lot of the early adventure games was that just the puzzles, I don't mind puzzles per se, but I want them to kind of make sense in the context of the real world. And too many times, a lot of these point and click adventures, the puzzles were just so obscure, and they seemingly random. It's like, oh, find this one weird thing, combine with this other weird thing, and interact with this other thing that you wouldn't have think to put together in a million years, and it'll do some other crazy nonsense. So I just never really got into it. I played a few of them. I played Myst. I played Sanitarium here. I played the Space Bar is another one that I remember that I really had some trouble with. I like the dialogue in that game, but again, some of the puzzles were just crazy, and I'm not good at these games. Sanitarium, though, was one that I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and it kind of just clicked with me. Not to say there were definitely a few instances, a few areas of this game where I did have some trouble, and there are a few puzzles in here that I really don't care for, but I would say largely it played better. Like, the puzzles, they weren't quite so bad, I think, overall. And the other reason that I really liked Sanitarium was the presentation. Now remember, this was 1998, and so we started getting some CD-ROM games. We started getting, you had the console stuff like the Sega CD, and I think the Saturn was out by that point, and you had a few different CD-based systems, so people were really starting to experiment with more FMV, full motion video, and all that kind of stuff, and actual voice acting, real music instead of MIDI stuff, and all that stuff. I was wowed by it in the beginning, but going back and you just look at some of these quote unquote interactive movies. They were just so laughably bad. Some of them were actually just laughably bad, and some of them were just terrible. Sanitarium, I think, did a really good job with presentation, starting with the main menu here. So we've got our mouse pointer here, and we have we have some icons across the top and the bottom of the screen.
New game.
If I hover over,
Load game. Save game.
not something they had to do, but I like it's a nice touch. I thought it was kind of cool. It had this weird kind of creepy voice.
Delete game. Use cinematics. Quit game.
I'll just go through them here.
Use text options. Audio options. Settings. Keyboard configuration. Show credits. Return to game.
Yeah, okay, so, kind of cheesy by today's standards, but I thought it was really cool back then. So, we're going to start a new game. I do have a saved game that we'll come back to later in the video to speed things along, but I do want to show you a few different aspects of Sanitarium. So let's do a new game. Yes, I know we're gonna... Okay, yes, I do want to create a new game. And here's our beginning cutscene.
Hon, you're not gonna believe it. I found the answer. All those years, I should have seen it. There's more. I'll tell you when I get home.
crash.
That generator got her. The fire's gonna spread.
Hey, what about this one?
Ah, leave him. That's the bastard who stole my car.
All right,
What's happening?
the game begins,
Where am I?
and we awake in this sanitarium. So, fitting name already. So, I have my cursor here.
How horrible! What kind of place is this?
If I hold down the right mouse button, I move. If I click on my bed,
Ugh, these beds are filthy.
that's kind of how you look at things and then interact or speak with people. So that's kind of your interactive button. So we're going to walk up here to the next cell. There we go. No, get in the door because I need something in
Horrible
here.
living conditions. Ugh, these beds are filthy.
Yeah, they are.
A towel might be useful.
Indeed it will be. So I'm not going to spend too much time in this level. There's a lot of different characters that you can kind of speak with just to get some initial background. I can talk.
Diagnosis crazy.
Fitting. I can't talk to him, but there's a person over here that I can talk to in the lower left. If I walk up the stairs and kind of circle back around. I'm not going to go through just to kind of keep the video moving at a decent pace. I'm not going to talk to everyone, but this game is fully voice acted. So that was one of the things that I really liked about it, is that, you know, a lot of the early adventure games, they were very text heavy, whether it was dialogue or reading books or pieces of paper to figure out clues or whatever it happened to be. A lot of reading, and when you have trouble reading standard size print, naturally that's not going to be very helpful. So not only is the game fully voiced when your character interacts with all the people in the game, but even when he reads things, so if he reads a book or a piece of paper, he will read that aloud as well. So, you know, unintentionally, I mean, they did it just for presentation and atmosphere, but, you know, an unintentional but excellent side effect is that it made Sanitarium a lot more accessible. And so I think that's another reason that I really gravitated toward it. I remember playing the demo. I'll talk about the demo in a minute, but let's keep moving
There's a locking
here.
mechanism in the base.
I want to get out of this area because...
There's a locking mechanism in the base.
Yeah,
What
shut up.
for? What a strange and beautiful sculpture.
Okay. I want to get out of this area because that alarm is obnoxious. There is a button to turn it off somewhere, but I forget where it is.
Extraordinary when it's lit up.
So let's just meander down these stairs here. We'll go down the stairs.
Come here, I'll squat you. Come here.
Let's keep going all the way down to this middle area.
My God.
Okay, well, he was a little crazy. He jumped. So we have this
Looks like some sort of control tower.
control tower. Can't get in there. Looks like our control for the bridge is right here. So naturally we can't get to it from this side. However, the item that we just picked up will come into play here very shortly.
But I can.
That must be the generator. He said it could explode any minute. How do I get out of here?
Indeed. How do I get out of here? So I could talk to that guy. Let's talk to this guy and then
What's
we'll...
he doing huddled in the corner? Trying to hide?
I'll show you the dialogue interface here. He said we want to keep the video moving, but we'll talk to this guy.
Excuse me. Do I know you? Your name is...
Martin. Martin, I said.
Do you know who... Can you tell me my name?
How the hell should I know? How can you stand all of them buzzing? Constantly buzzing.
Alright, so the dialogue you see is, it's in these little text boxes here. but everything is voiced, and our conversations, we just have a list of words that we can click on to get more information about a certain topic.
What is this place?
Nut house, you fool.
A nut house? It looks so old. What do you mean?
Nut house, loony bin, funny farm. What don't you understand?
Well, there's a lot I don't understand. For starters, why are you here?
Damn bugs are driving me crazy. They'll find their hives one day. Doc Morgan's a great help. We'll squash them. That'll be that.
Okay.
What bugs, Martin? I don't see any. Maybe they're not real.
Are you serious? These blood-sucking insects are bent on destroying the world.
Martin, think about it. How are some bugs going to destroy the world?
Well, look at them. These are normal bugs. These is robots. Little teeny robots.
If you say so, buddy.
There's a doctor around here? Doc Morgan?
Exterminator. That's what he is. The best there is. He kills bugs. Dead. But they always come back. Always come back.
Okay, we got a couple of other dialogue options. So you notice that we started with a couple of dialogue options, and as we hear more of the conversation, we get more dialogue options to choose from here.
Where is everyone?
Out. All of them. When the alarm went off, they left us behind. You know, with the bugs. Wait till Doc Morgan finds out. It's a conspiracy.
Why is the alarm going off? What's happening?
The bugs, of course. Damn little bastard blew up the power generator. They unlocked the door. Let the nuts out. Crazies roaming free. Oh, the bugs were bad enough.
Okay.
I wish someone would turn the alarm off. I can't think straight.
And you think turning the alarm off will help? There's a switch around here somewhere.
A generator blew up?
Are you deaf or something? Yeah, the generator. It powered the tower. Big thing. Fire, flame, fuel, heat things. Stuff happens and things. They got power. You know how things work.
Alright, so you met one of the tower cell residents here in the sanitarium. Like I said, you can talk to, there's a person in this little cell over here. There's a guy over on the left that you can talk to. There may be one or two others, but I'm not going to talk to him for this video. It is worthwhile. I mean, they don't have any... In later levels, they will factor into the actual gameplay for puzzles or for things that you will have to do. But, you know, in this level, they're just more for background and, you know, getting to know sort of what's going on. So, because they don't have, you know, they're not mandatory, I'm not going to talk to them right now, but I would recommend it because the voice acting in this game is actually quite good, especially for back when this game came out. So, if I click on my guy, I get my inventory up here, and I can click on the towel, and we got this power line here that I can use as a zip line down to that middle tower. But yeah, I mean, the thing, not only was this thing fully voice acted, but you know, you think about a lot of those
Looks
early...
like some sort of control panel.
You look at a lot of those early CD games and stuff, and the voice acting is just usually laughably bad. You know, laughably bad. It's either overacted or just really cheesy. I mean, there's countless games that I could point out or reference. I mean, by this point, you know, everyone kind of knows a lot of the titles that people reference. I mean, even in great games, you know, a game like Symphony of the Night back then, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, excellent game, but wow, that voice acting was kind of bad. Sanitarium did a really good job. Alright, so what can we interact with
Drawers
in
are
here?
held shut by an electronic lock.
Okay.
There must be something valuable in there. But how do I open it?
How indeed.
What's wrong with this thing?
So we get our first puzzle.
The cables need to be plugged in before I can use the VCR.
Okay, that's simple enough. So we got our nice little simple puzzle here. I'll grab the cord. There we go. Pop that in. And pop that in. And then we'll grab this one over in the corner. And pop that in as well. Now we are set. And here's a little bit more story for you, minus that annoying, obnoxious alarm.
Can you hear me? It's Dr. Morgan. Your delusions almost took the life from you this time.
My face, it's in bandages. Where am I? Who am I?
You must have thought you had somewhere important to go when you stole that car.
Oh, no.
You did a lot of damage to that face of yours in the crash.
I'm sorry. I can't believe.
No apologies. All we need is your best effort. And before you can give us that, you need some rest. Bruce, help our lad back to his room. Don't worry, son. We'll talk again soon.
Whoa!
Okay.
That short circuit opened the safe.
Excellent. So let's get what's in the safe.
Some strange kind of key.
Key to what indeed? So here I'll demonstrate the text reading, just
Could
like
be answers in
dialogue.
here.
Just like dialogue, like I said, everything in this game is fully voiced. So, nice touch for accessibility.
A memo regarding the tower bridge. Due to recent problems with the generator, all employees are asked to keep the tower bridge extended at all times. It will be extremely difficult to extend the bridge from the outer ring should the power go out.
That's taken care of.
A letter for Dr. Morgan from a Professor Cunningham. Something about an ancient key found here in the asylum. The key you described must be very old indeed. I have found documentation that may link it to Aztec culture, though we'd have to examine the object carefully here at the Institute in order to confirm this theory.
Alright, fair enough. One more to
Memo
read.
from the Chief of Security. It gives some details about a patient escape, number 227. The memo says that the West Wing is inadequately contained, and all the patients have been transferred to the tower cells. Here! But where are they now?
Alright, so we're done with that. Now we have the key that we need to finish this level and get rid of that obnoxious alarm. Like I said, I forget exactly where that switch is. I know you can turn it off. I just don't particularly remember where at this point, so we're just gonna move on. And you can, like I said, if you just move your mouse around, notice that, I didn't point this out earlier, when I have it, my cursor is over something that I can't interact with, it's just straight up and down like this, not moving. But if I, let's say, click on this, or if I go over here on the top of the tower, the cursor turns into this wavy magnifying glass. It kind of moves around a little bit more, saying that this is something that you can either look at or interact with, examine, kind of thing.
The grotesque sentinel.
Okay, so remember before we had...
There's a locking mechanism in the base.
Indeed there is. So we're going to click on our character again.
An ancient key.
And we have our key. And we are going to finish off this level. Here is the ending cutscene for the level. Wow. Those look so compressed. I still, though, I remember when this looked amazing. Like, I was blown away when this game came out.
It is... no. It is so dark. Oh, my home. Once bright tower, what has become of you?
You're alive. Am I going mad?
Listen. Hear the cries of the children. The innocent are dying, and you only think of yourself. Can you not see the light of heaven has dimmed?
What can I do?
Seek the truth.
Boom. All right. Get folded over with the wings there. And we end up in a little town in the next level. So here we go. Now, I'm not going to play through this whole level here. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of the characters and the overall kind of plot for this particular area. And then I'm going to skip ahead to my save game because I want to show you a couple of mechanics, and then I'll at least give you a glimpse as to what in the heck is going on in this crazy village. So, let's examine the old statue.
It looks like the statue from the tower. It looks like the statue from the tower.
Of course it does. Okay, let's walk forward here.
I'll win it too.
Hey, you big dope! Get out of our light!
Come on, Billy. Let's play. You're not supposed to.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so let's go talk to Billy.
Ratty kid with 2 mouths.
You notice that all of the kids, there's a couple things right away, or as you start walking around this village. A bunch of deformed kids, so what the heck is going on in there? And then you also really see no adults.
Hey, kid, what's your name?
My name's Billy. What's yours?
Little flashback. Trying to remember his name.
I can't remember my name.
Well, Mother won't let me talk to strangers, so you better leave.
Where's your mother? I'd really like to speak to her.
Mother only talks to us kids. Not a big poop head like you.
So that's all we can do right now. Kids won't talk to us unless they know our name, otherwise they think we're strangers.
Hey, it's not fair. I never win.
Who are you, young lady?
My name's Jessie Hatcher. What's yours?
Okay, another flashback, trying to recall. A kid reading a book there, comic book.
I can't remember my name.
Well, Mother won't let you talk to strangers, so you better leave.
What about your mother?
Where's your mother? I'd really like to speak to her.
Mother is everywhere.
Okay, that's definitely a weird response. So let's go talk to another kid, because then we'll maybe trigger another memory and finally remember vaguely who
This
we
girl
are.
has 2 wooden legs.
Hey kid.
Who are you?
Megan Johns, but you can call me Pegleg. That's what all the kids call me.
But that's mean. I would never call you that.
Thanks, mister. You're nice. What's your name?
Here we go. Now I think we're gonna get it.
Max,
Kid reading the book again.
Sarah would like to see you now.
That will definitely come into play in a later chapter of the
Max.
game.
That's a nice name. Hey, now you aren't a stranger.
So I think they do a really good job. You know, I didn't talk to everyone in the first Sanitarium area, but you'll notice that when you do talk to them, you'll notice some kind of links to this level. They start talking about Mother right away and some other topics that come up later in the game, and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Even that flashback movie that you see, you'll see that full thing play out later and then understand the background more for your character. So they do a really good job of, I mean, this game is definitely screwy. It's really messed up, but they do a good job of kind of linking some of these, like the real world sanitarium to these other interesting levels that you come across throughout the game.
Where are we? What town is this?
This is home, silly.
I realize this is your home, Meg, but where am I? I mean, doesn't this town have a name?
Oh, didn't you see the sign?
Nope.
I haven't seen any adults in this town. Where are your parents? Where are all of the adults?
Sorry, Max, but Mother won't let us talk about that.
Why is that?
Mother says that all adults except her are bad, and we shouldn't talk to them.
Okay, why are they bad?
Adults are bad? I don't understand. Why does your mother distrust all other adults so much?
She says that fraud leads to their destruction, or something like that.
What does that mean?
I probably said too much already.
You really like to skip rope, huh, Meg? I'm sorry, but doesn't that hurt your false leg?
What? Oh, my leg? It's okay. That don't hurt much. Besides, Mother says that once I'm finished growing, I'll forget all about my leg.
Okay, so we're done talking to Meg for a little while. And we're going to go back and talk to Billy and Jesse because we're going to do another quick mini game. Let's talk to Billy first.
You're Billy, right?
Huh? I told you that a zillion times already. Jeez. Have you figured out your name yet, Mr. No Name?
Yep.
My name is Max.
Oh, that's a good name. Better than Mr. No Name. I used to have a goldfish named Max, but my cat ate it. He pooped orange for 2 days.
That's disgusting. Do your parents know you tell stories like that?
Yeah, but they don't say anything. Orange poop, orange poop.
Oh, Billy.
Where are your parents?
I'm not supposed to tell, says Mother.
You can tell me. I'm your friend, right?
No.
So, yeah, everyone's like, he's trying to talk to their parents, and everyone's like, oh, Mother, but they refer to her like, Mother is not my real mother, so what indeed is going on in this crazy village?
Billy, that angel statue over there, does it... I mean, have you ever seen it move very often?
Stupid Mr. Orange Poop. You must have boogers for brains. Statues don't move.
This one did. It was... Didn't you see it? It carried me here from far away. I mean, it just wrapped its wings around me and...
Stop it, mister. You're giving me the creeps.
Okay.
What game are you playing?
Tic-tac-toe. Jesse's the best there is. Except when she's cheap.
She's the best, huh? Maybe I could play too. Got any tips for me?
Yeah, stupid head. Don't lose.
I don't have
great.
much patience for games. But I've got less patience for smart-mouthed kids like you.
Yeah, don't lose. Good tip there, buddy. Fair enough, good answer.
I don't mean to be rude, but... What happened to your face?
Me? Nothing. Mother says I'm handy-some. What's wrong with your face, mister? Is Mother making you handy-some too?
No, Billy. I was hurt in an accident. These bandages helped me get better.
Okay. And I think that's all we can do. So let's talk to Jesse real quick. And now we can do our little mini game in a minute.
Jesse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second puzzle.
Tic-tac-toe champion. What's your name?
My name is Max.
Oh, that's a dumb name.
That's a rude thing to say. What would your parents say if they heard you talk like that?
They're not here. And you're not my dad. I don't have to listen to you.
Aren't we a bratty kid?
Where are your parents?
They're all in.
Jesse, shut up. He's a grown-up. You know Mother's deal.
What's Mother's rule?
We aren't supposed to talk about our hopes. If we do, we'll be but in the patch.
Okay, a little more intrigue there.
Tell me about the pumpkin, Jesse. What's so special about it?
No one goes in there unless they were bad, like Maria. It's a bad, bad place.
What game are you playing?
Tic-tac-toe. Wanna play? I'm the best there is.
Okay, I'm going to skip the rules thing because she just tells you the rules, and come on, everybody knows how to play tic-tac-toe.
I don't mean to be rude, but what happened to your face?
Huh? Oh, that. Mother did this. Aren't I pretty? I hope to be as pretty as Mother when I grow up. Don't you think I'm pretty?
Sure. Oh, yes. You're very, very...
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh my God, what's going on here?
Oh, okay, I guess I do have to ask about the rules to
Can you tell me
play.
how to play?
Well, you put an X, and I put down an O. In the boxes here. The idea
I thought
is
I
to
could
get
just
3 across,
play.
or up and down, or diagonal. If you do that, you win.
Yes, so now let's
Let's play a game.
play a game.
Then we'll see if you're as good as you say.
So here's our next puzzle.
You probably think you're
Little
smart,
game of
but
tic-tac-toe.
you're just a big, stupid boy.
Huh.
A simple kid's game shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, so, and you do need to do this, well, I guess you technically wouldn't have to, but to figure out some of the clues and stuff, it does help you learn a clue that you do need later in the level. Okay, so we got a blocky there. Alright. Not really going to do anything there. And there. Grab that again. So one thing I immediately remember about this game, it's kind of funny, you know, with all this voice acting, this was one of those where you had like 3 CDs, 3 or 4, I forget if it was 3 or 4, but thankfully it wasn't one of those that you had to keep switching them all the time. I know, like I mentioned the spacebar earlier in the video, and that one, oh my god, like you go into a new area and like you constantly had to switch. You had to switch CDs. Okay, let's go like this. And then we'll go here. Just mess with her a little bit here. But there's so much audio, like I said, it's just crazy. And I remember playing, I didn't actually get the game outright. I remember playing the demo. And it was crazy. I just remember it was like a 75 meg demo or something like that. And I remember thinking, good God. You know, let's see what happens if I lose. Actually, I wonder what'll happen.
You got lucky.
You stink. All boys are stupid.
Okay, we'll do a rematch. We'll just finish this puzzle.
Let's try that again.
But, yeah,
Now
this,
I'll really
you know, this was
Simple
back
kids
when,
game.
you know, we
Shouldn't
didn't
be
have a
too
whole
hard.
lot of hard drive space. I don't even remember, I think this was before, or I might have had a 1.2 gigabyte hard drive at the time, and I thought that was amazing. But, you know, you had Windows, and I had a few other games installed. I'm thinking, good God, 75 meg? You know, this was, like I said, when I got into college, I had a T1 line for the first time. You know, at home I did have dial-up, but it's like, it was so slow. And then I actually got to see what internet was like. You know what, you're just going to keep doing the same thing, so I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. Do that. And we're just going to, here, lose again. There you go.
You got lucky.
Alright, anyway, so, you know, tic-tac-toe, pretty pretty easy. I was just doing the same kind of pattern over and over. I just wanted to see if she would change her pattern at all. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. And sometimes what I was trying to do too is that I think as you're playing, she'll get frustrated and you'll hear she'll kind of say some wisecracks to you. So I was trying to see if I could get that to happen, but it didn't. So, you know, it's kind of a bratty kid, but kind of amusing at the same time. But yeah, the whole demo, like 75 megs, I just remember that being so huge. But I could actually download it because I was on a T1 line in college. Back then, I was downloading games and demos like crazy just because I could. It's like, oh man, I mean, I can actually go get games and demos and actually just, I was in heaven. I just remember that early on in college. So now visually, before I load my save game and wrap up this video, there's a couple places in this level in particular that I kind of got stuck on, and part of it was my vision, part of it was just I think anyone could get stuck because it's just not something that you would immediately really think of.
I could just stand here and scratch myself all day.
Okay, I haven't heard that one. But basically, you know, it's not like modern games where a lot of times, even in adventure games, they have little cues, or you can turn on little cues that will at least show you what is interactive in the environment, you know, without having to do the pixel hunt of moving your mouse over every little thing. So, you know, you'll have like a little glowing aura, or it'll sparkle or shine a certain color, gold, silver, green, yellow, whatever. What I missed originally was there was these rocks over here.
What do I do now?
They just look like rocks, you know, they're just part of the environment. But if you actually mouse over,
A rock.
you can actually pick up one of these stupid rocks. And I was stuck here forever trying to figure out what in the heck I was supposed to do. Because eventually you'll find a character in here that you have to lure him away from what he's doing, and you can't talk to him, he won't talk to you. You're like, what can I do to get that, to get him out of there? And it turns out, little puzzle spoiler here, but you see the bell up there. You know, originally I didn't think much of that either. I'm like, okay, it's just part of a church. Yeah, okay, big deal. You actually have to take the rock and then throw it at the bell to make it gong, so that it'll lure a lot of the kids into the church, so that you can finish a puzzle. So, stupid rock had me stumped for a long time. Now, here's another clue. I'll read the clue here.
Today's sermon, Psalm 4, verse 51, the gates of heaven.
Okay, so that number is actually a clue. Turns out there's a padlock. Remember the pumpkin patch that Jesse had mentioned. You know, if you're bad, you get put in the patch. Well, we actually have to go through the patch, and I'm going to load a save game in the patch here in just a minute. But you find out there are clues to figure out the key combination. There's a clue here, so that Psalm verse 451, that's your first clue. They also drill it in. If you talk to enough kids around here, you'll find that other people have played tic-tac-toe.
I need to get moving.
And they've played tic-tac-toe as well, and it tells how many times each person has beat Jesse. So they really kind of drill it home into, you know, like, oh, okay, yes, this is in fact the password. So they do a good job with that. The other thing visually that I got stuck on originally is I didn't even think of this as an interactable item, and eventually there's this hose here that you need, and there's a tool that we're going to need later to actually get the hose, because if I click on it, he won't be able to grab it.
This hose should come off.
So I won't necessarily
with my bare hands.
I won't necessarily blame it on my vision, but I did overlook it for the longest time, and because, you know, they're not shiny, because they don't have kind of a glowing aura or anything really to point them out to you, unless you go to every little area in a level, move your mouse over, see if your magnifying glass starts to move, you really don't know. And so you really have to pay attention, especially if, you know, you have low vision, trying to figure out what little tiny item sometimes that you may have missed. So we are going to say we're going to load a game because I want to show you a couple of other mechanics, and I will introduce you. You're not going to see the full story. I'm not going to show you necessarily what happens to their parents, but you will get to meet Mother and why these kids are all so screwed up. But first I want to show you a mechanic. So I'm up here in this pumpkin patch. Now I've unlocked with the key combination there, and in order to get up to this point where I am, I had to use this weapon that I have in my hand to kill a bunch of these stupid birds, these crows. And I will say that is kind of a pain because the mouse doesn't seem particularly responsive and it's really easy to die. So I did die there a few times, and it is like, so there are a few points throughout the game where it's mainly a point and click adventure, but occasionally you do get a couple of like action or combat sequences. I would say this one is my least favorite. Well, there's one toward the end of the game that's kind of obnoxious too, but they're more action heavy or combat focused. So I have a boss here that I have to do, so I'm going to show you a little bit of that. So we got this little thing here with the pumpkins around it. We're going to move forward here. Now we... Oh, gee, hey, get away from me. Now I have to get away from him. Okay. Get away from me, buddy. Trying to keep up with the... Oh, get away. Oh, really? You're going to kill me that quickly? I was just going to move. So thankfully you're not really punished all that much if you die. You just start at the beginning of the combat encounter that you are in. And you don't have to kill any enemies that you've already killed. Because if I had to fight all these damn crows again, I would be very, very unhappy about that. So, like I said, those were a pain. We're going to finish off this boss here, hopefully. Hopefully I won't do something stupid and die right away again. I don't know why that guy killed me so fast. Okay, kill it. Circle around back up top. Click the pumpkin. Oh, no, 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 no. You bastard. No, 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 no. Alright, move! I get stuck in the environment sometimes. That does happen. Alright, so I gotta walk my way through the patch again. And then you'll get to meet Mother. So yeah, you know, you've got all these kids that are deformed and all screwy. You walk around the village and you see these like weird vines and stuff everywhere. You're like, what is going on in this place? There's no adults, there's just all kinds of weird stuff going on. You know, the kids are kind of playing it off like, oh yeah, we're still doing like little kid things and that, but you know, playing our kids games like hide and seek or tic-tac-toe. No, get your ass. Okay, now I can kill you. Come here, shithead. There you go. Dead now.
I guess he thought it was better to burn up than fade away.
Alright, fair enough. Good deal. We are done there. Okay. So now we can open up the other gate here. And what on earth is this thing?
This rock must be the source of all the monstrous plant life. It appears metallic.
So eventually we're going to have to figure out how to destroy it. But again, that's not something I will cover in this video. But we can investigate some other things.
Gas-powered generator.
Sure. Alright.
Must be out of gas.
Must be out of gas. So that's something else that we're going to have to do. Let's take a look at our little tractor here.
Looks like a jumper cable. Might be useful.
Sure, why not? We'll grab it.
What a piece of junk. Probably only good for spare parts.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, you guys, we're going to wrap up the video here shortly, but we're going to have an extended conversation with the mother that everyone has been so talking about. And then we'll call it.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Yeah. Say hello to Mother. So that's what craziness is going on in this village. Let's,
What a huge, disgusting nightmare.
Yeah, that's adequate. Let's talk to this ugly brute.
Find their eyes. I suppose it was inevitable. Yet, I hoped that the pumpkin patch would deter your progress. Apparently not. I must admit that I'm intrigued as to how you arrived here. I was certain I'd weeded out your kind before sleep overtook me. Meat secretions hang in the air around your body. They offend my senses.
My God, what are you?
I am beyond your understanding, human. However, you may call me what the children do. Mother.
Mother. So we will go through this conversation just so you can kind of get an idea, and you'll find out at least the overall arc of this arc of the story, and then I will leave it up to you to figure out how to kill this monstrosity. But let's finish the conversation and we'll wrap it up. This will be kind of a long one here. But
Mother? I should call you what you are, nothing but a disease.
Mind your tongue, human. I am more parent to these seedlings than you or anyone else would be.
These aren't your seedlings, they're children. Flesh and blood, don't you see that?
I see, and it disgusts me. Animal sacks filled with loose cells, so one don't burst. What an inferior vessel for the spirits of these children.
But why have you done this?
The children were in danger.
Danger from what? You've done more harm than...
And what? You? The mate called Jeddah showed me how harmful your kind can be, as did the one called Preacher.
So that's something that's not really going to make as much sense to you guys because we didn't explore some of the documentation and talk to some of the characters. You found out there was some kind of craziness going on. Like there was a guy I think that beat his kids, and then there was some stuff going on with the preacher. So that's something that you would learn as you were exploring the town. But so that's why that might not make sense to you. But there you go, a little bit of background there for you.
Jeddah. I saw his name on the pumpkin patch sign. What does he have to do with all this?
He made me see the evil of your God. How destructive you are. Jeddah preyed upon his own child, making her suffer and die. The entire town turned a blind eye to Jeddah's crimes, and I watched. The people's vicious disregard for Carol's safety was no less a crime than her father's.
So you killed them?
Their own inner chaos would have destroyed them eventually. I only expedited the event, set things in order.
Yeah, okay.
Why were you so concerned about Carol?
She talked to me when no one would listen. I tried to communicate with them, but Carol's voice was like music to me. She was my favorite, and I failed her.
So even with this weird demonic voice thing, like I said, the voice acting is quite good.
How How does the preacher figure into all of this? What could he possibly have done?
He was a superstitious fool. He spread paranoia and fear, swaying the others away from rational thought. The humans put their trust and faith in him and followed. When the preacher assured them that Jethro wasn't a real threat to Carol, they listened.
There you go, a little more background.
If you're as omnipotent as you seem to think you are, then why haven't you weeded me out also?
In due time, little meat. For now you are of little consequence to me.
Aren't we arrogant?
My name is Max, not Meat.
Your name is meaningless. An animal noise. And you are nothing more than a bag of meat.
If you truly feel that way, then why have you spared the children? Aren't they meat too?
Yes, and you have seen them bickering and divided. Yet they are not beyond hope. The children still have some innocence, some reconstructing on the cellular level. I will cultivate in order to give them salvation.
Yeah.
And you think that you can offer them salvation? What conceit!
It is not conceit. After I complete their transformation, the children will be one with me forever. That is their salvation.
Transforming them into simple plants? You call that salvation?
Simple plants! Insolent meat! You know what your problem is. You lack structure. The cells in your body are practically floating away. It makes me sick to look at you. Everything around you is in chaos. My form is superior in every way to your weak flesh.
Almost done, I think, with our conversation here.
If my flesh is so weak, then why are you afraid of me?
Afraid of you? You overestimate yourself.
I think you're the one who overestimates yourself, you perverse, bloated egomaniac!
You impudent wretch!
Thunk! Ow!
I've got to kill that diseased monster before it kills the children.
Alright, so it dropped our nice little,
A wrench, courtesy of... well, thanks, Mom.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so let's see, let's click on this vine real quick.
Vines are thicker around the barn.
Yeah, so there you go. A little bit of what is going on in that little village. That is Sanitarium. It is a kind of a classic adventure game. Like I said, I think it's available on Good Old Games as well as Steam now, and it runs on modern machines. I'm glad that Steam and Good Old Games especially, they're doing the effort of making these games playable on modern systems. And like I said, despite being not so much of an adventure fan myself, this one I kind of got into. I mean, this story here is a little bit odd to say the least, but you know, it'll make more sense when you get back to, you kind of throughout the game you go back and forth between different areas of the asylum and different like flashbacks or alternate areas, like this village that is, you know, not necessarily tied to the sanitarium or asylum, whatever. And you do play as other characters too. You play as Max, of course, but then you play as a couple of other characters that figure into the story in some fashion. So yeah, that is Sanitarium. It is available and playable on modern computers for pretty cheap. I don't remember. I think it's on sale right now on Steam. I'm not sure if it will be by the time I upload this, but not too expensive, and I think highly well worth it if you're into adventure games. And if you have shied away from adventure games because you are low vision, and you know, some of the visual puzzles may give you a little bit of trouble, but if you're concerned about a lot of the reading, this may be a game to check out, because like I said, with all the dialogue being voiced, and when you read like the different documents and things throughout the worlds, most of that is voiced. The only thing that I can think of that really, actually no, that is voiced as well. It's just that you actually do have to physically read it. There is a puzzle briefly that I'll mention before we wrap up. Later on in the asylum, there is a puzzle where you have to look at a few of these chalkboards in a room. And there's a puzzle, basically what ends up happening is you have to look at all of these chalkboards, and if you're moving your mouse around while you're reading them, you notice that some of the letters are interactive. You actually end up having to find all of the capital letters in these whole bunch of writing on these chalkboards, and so when you do that, like, you actually physically have to kind of read visually those chalk writings, because you have to use those to form a clue that you need for a puzzle. So that's the one instance where you do, I think, really have to physically read the text, but otherwise everything is spoken. So they do have a nice little bit of extra accessibility, unintentional or not. This may be a good adventure game to check out in that case. So hope you guys have enjoyed Sanitarium, and until next time, I will talk to you guys again later.